and the best restaurant in the world, Noma.
We went from zeros to heroes, just like that.
People flew to Scandinavia to eat.
From America, from Asia, just to dine at Noma.
As a cook, you're creating a language. We need an alphabet to build sentences. The ingredients are our alphabet. And the more letters we have, the more beautiful the prose.
There's this element of Mozart about him. He has this automatic access to genius.
We're not following a recipe, we're creating a recipe.
He does things, sees things, it wouldn't even cross my mind.
Oh my God, it's a cabbage. It's a vegetable. No, it's a drink. Scandinavian margarita. So the Michelin Guide is out tomorrow. Do we need it in our lives? Probably not, but it would be nice to have. I don't understand how this can happen. I just don't get it.
He's a very dominant person. He will give a lot, he will take a lot.
There's something that's not going right, and I think it's you. Do I believe that there is a best restaurant in the world? Of course not. It's ridiculous. But it changed our restaurant forever.
We had to push ourselves and show something new. To prove to everybody that we're still here and better than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce that the San Pellegrino World's Best Restaurant 2010 is Noma!
2011, once again, Noma. And the best restaurant in the world, 2012, completing an incredible hat-trick, Noma.
René has proven to be a gem, an unpolished diamond.
Thank you very much.
People came from America, from South America, from Asia, just to dine at Noma.
He does things, sees things, creatively, with food, it wouldn't even cross my mind.
He's not cooking supper anymore. He's changing the world.
We all know what a salad root is, okay, right? The salad root is it's this here. It's marinating. What oils did we end up putting in?
It's blackcurrant wood oil, a little bit of blackcurrant leaf oil. It's been caramelized with kelp paste and horseradish juice.
Yeah, and it's marinating with that and salt as well, right?
And salt.
Yeah. So You see they vary from size to size. This is essentially half of this thing sticks into the ground, half of it goes up into the actual lettuce. It's the best part of the salad. I'll take this. 12 years ago, I was a sous chef at a restaurant in Copenhagen, and I get a phone call from Klaus Meyer, my former partner in the restaurant, that he had an offer to open a place in town. And at that time, I was getting quite a few offers actually from people, but this one interested me.
At that time, the Nordic cuisine didn't exist as a thought, no cookbook dealt with this subject. If you Google Nordic food, Nordic cuisine before 2003, it didn't exist. So why? Well, because we met.
It was a new concept of a new kitchen, and it was the Nordic kitchen. It was a pure Nordic kitchen, being inspired by obviously previous kitchens, the French kitchen, the Italian, but just to say, right, okay, we're going to start again. We're just going to start from scratch, using only the ingredients that you can get in the Nordic countries.
So we are hugging each other. Spooning.
No, es una estrategia, es fantástica, es una muy buena estrategia. Pues una estrategia, ¿vale? Que dice, bueno, aquí vamos a ser radicales, ¿no? Estos productos, tal. Cuidado, esta radicalidad puede ser compleja. ¿Cuántos kilómetros son? Bueno, claro.
The idea that Noma started as a project based on Nordic food seemed almost absurd. Most people in the beginning, myself included, thought this is not really very interesting. This is maybe a little sort of theoretical in a sense. Why pursue this stupid idea of sort of limiting yourself to the Nordic area?
It was a lot of hard work, and there was a lot of criticism in the very beginning of Noma, because everybody thought it's impossible. It can't be done. You can't you can't make this new Nordic kitchen.
Some of my closest allies in the profession, they just made so much fun of us and thought the idea was stupid. Gave us names even like the Blubber Restaurant, the Whale Penis, the Seal Fucker. That's how it is when you try for something new. When you risk something new, then you also risk being shot at. And they were right. For the most part, we were just pretentious and it was crap. It was just crap. My frustration increased. Suddenly I couldn't see myself being a chef anymore. Luckily, I got an invitation to Greenland. And so we went on the ice cap. It was so pristine and beautiful, unlike anything I'd ever tried before in my life. This is when it happened. The idea of time and place started. it became so simple. Every day serve a meal that tells people who eat with us where are they in the world and what time of the year are they in.
And most of this starts with a thorough understanding of seasonality.
There's no question that was the beginning of the new restaurant, the new Noma, the new myself.
Time and place. That became the main motivation and still is. Every time we're searching for new answers, we go back to that. Are we showing people where in the world we are and what time of the year we're in? It's very basic, but so difficult to do on a daily basis.
¿Vale? Y lo que hace René, que es increíble, que en la zona nórdica, que nunca había tenido una identidad nacional, él la da.
From a journalist standpoint, that's a very attractive story. Of course, you want to be able to see what that story is all about, and if it really works out as well as it does on the plate at Noma, you want to be able to tell that story.
It smells too much like hashish, like smells like weed.
Oh damn!
Oh
Look
shit!
At Nate.
Oh Nate! Watch out! Oh, does it does smell like woodruff as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there is the end. There's woodruff, no? Yeah. Should we use it for table 7? Okay. Table 7 for the egg. You smoke it in woodruff. So next thing we serve you is pickled eggs that are smoked in woodruff.
Sweet woodruff.
Yeah, sweet woodruff. You know it?
It's my name, Woodruff.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We noticed. Actually, we usually smoke it in hay, but we thought it would be fun to smoke it in woodruff for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So can you smell the cumin? It smells a little bit like tonka bean.
It's beginning to get it.
Yeah, can you smell it?
Tight.
Yeah.
As far as.
Okay, good start.
One of the big moments in Noma's evolution was when the Swedish forager Roland Ritman contacted us.
Jag började med att samla svampar som hobby. Men det blev ju kvickt alldeles för mycket för jag var ju en duktig samlare så att frysen blev full och min fru hon sa till mig nu får du sälja, vi kan inte använda mer.
Roland, he had read some little notice in a Swedish paper that a restaurant was opening in Copenhagen, trying to focus on local raw materials.
Det här med att samla, att leva som samlare, det är ju liksom något romantiskt. Så har vi gjort ända sedan vi kom ut ur djungeln, så att säga, ut på savannen för människorna. Vi har gjort det under miljoner år.
I'll never forget the moment I saw him. And literally he looked like Santa Claus. Big beard, suspenders, everything that you think Santa Claus is.
Att lägga sig ner på knä och plocka en svamp eller en ätlig blomma eller ett blad eller ett bär. Att komma tillbaks till detta att, som är det naturliga för människan.
That was the moment when you sort of realized that, wow, in the wilderness, there's so much more undiscovered. He gave us that. He was the one who sparked that initial interest.
And his discovery is that when you go out and insist on the dogma that we have to limit ourselves to what is here, and we have to be curious about what is here, you discover tastes and produce that you wouldn't have dreamed of.
Taste is closely connected to images of places, moods, times, and then of course people. The meal on the plate is part of a bigger system. The ingredients, they belong to a season. They have a ripening process, their own temporal dimension, and they take a certain time to make their way through our bodies. They come from a farm, from a field, or from a bush, a tree. It might be flesh from an animal, from the sea. In other words, they, like us, are inseparable from the environment. And our environment, Noma's environment, is Scandinavian.
We could have done, the dishes with leeks from Belgium and potatoes from Holland and strawberries from France. But of course, the taste, as we all know, is related to the place. So the taste would have been, 5 to 10% different, and maybe even 5 to 10% less good because of the qualities of this cold climate to things such as vegetables. The fact that we restricted ourselves to cooking with whatever we have here now made a very big difference.
Michel Bras, the French oracle chef, says, as a cook, you're creating a language. And so if that's the case, then we need vocabulary, an alphabet to build sentences and paragraphs. The ingredients are our alphabet. And the more letters we have, the more beautiful the prose. I always tell the guys in the kitchen that we're explorers. Explorers of an edible planet. Finding new methods, new treasures out there. Learning again how to forage, how to sense the world, how to consume in a responsible way. I don't know, I feel that this can somehow influence the way people eat. Not only at the finest of restaurants. At times when things get tough, especially when you're tired of beats and whatever, it'd be so easy just to pick up that thing from somewhere around the world that's good at that moment. If you want the freshest of food, it has to be as close to the restaurant as possible. But there's no way around the fact that, of course, the future holds a drop of olive oil in Noma's food. I don't think it becomes less, say, Scandinavian or of the place or unique because you have a drop of olive oil in your cucumber juice. My family were farmers in Macedonia. It was an incredible life, incredible life.
You know, that freedom of being able to run everywhere, go everywhere. The whole village was just one big open door. In Macedonia, you were like a big house, the whole family together. The animals were underneath us. You know, there were 2 rooms for the animals. On top, there were 2 rooms for the adults. You were playing around with chickens, catching fireflies, eating berries off bushes, going to the mountains and having chestnuts, you know. It was always warm. It was hot, like really hot.
Ik zoom een show. Ik zoom de lumturkatjen. Corvin Danimark paksi izimto medesh paks ma cheter pak. Nog bashi lumtur adesh. Chashton papa.
Back in Denmark in a little 60 square meter apartment, you know, always struggling. My parents, they always saved up all they could so that we could go to Macedonia. That was sort of the one luxury we had, is that we went there sometimes 2 times a year, and sometimes we'd spend, you know, months and months there each year. And you'd had to save up for that, and my mother, she would work 2 jobs. And you know, I love my parents, you know, they'd done everything for us. But as a child, being at a hospital at 9 o'clock at night during winter, your mother is cleaning the floor, you're just sitting there. Back then there was no iPads or anything, you know, it's just, it wasn't really, you know, wonderful. Well, my mom, she's a cook like me. Except she doesn't cook a 21-course meal for the lucky 40 that booked a table long in advance. She cooks, you know, she cooks for like all these people that have a hard time in society, you know, drug addicts and criminals.
Når jeg går på Noma og spiser, det gør jeg da et par gange om året, nogle gange 3, så hvis man skal se en forbindelse mellem Makedonien og Noma, så er det jo mest det af de rene råvarer. Altså.
Do you remember that time when we did this paste that tasted almost like the smell of a freshly mowed lawn?
Yeah. There was the beach grass we picked in on film.
Okay, the beach grass.
Yeah.
Right. Grasses. I'm gonna write that as well. You know what? I'm also gonna write cucumber. Imagine if we could that, guys. You know, when you get the cucumbers heated by the sun, it's almost as if there's spikes on them. You bite into them, and the green is so intense and vibrant, and the juices explode. Let's work on that. There's something there. Allow ourselves to just say, fuck these techniques. It has to be intuition-based and fresh, right? So we have quite a few things in, and there's more things coming in, and we're still searching. Who knows what comes in? And for all that, we're open, no?
What do you think if we want to preserve it, the rose petals, is it just in oil? Or is it maybe just like a 2% salt brine or something? Because in case we want to grill it, everything with sugar is not good, I think. You know? So.
Oh, the rich smell of fermentation. How's our babies? Are they alive? Wow, it smells so rich, man. There's mold on these suckers. We believe strongly, and you've all been noticing how fermentation has just influenced most every single dish that we're doing, right? In small ways, a little hint, a little flavoring, and so on and so on. And we think that we've only scratched the surface. We think there's like unbelievable wealth more to be discovered.
Fermented blood. That just sounds so disgusting. It smells amazing.
Lavender's good there?
Yeah.
It does something.
More floral.
Huh?
Yeah.
More floral, right?
Yeah. Someone lost theirs. It also makes it taste carry.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
yeah. Really cool.
And this one came out of the blue, fucking having a meeting. Out of frustration, 1:30 in the morning. But it's a very cool thing.
Playing with culture, with texture, with people, with temperature, that's a very, very, very big challenge. And then doing so, of course, in a way that makes people understand where on earth are they, that this is Denmark, and this is the season they're in, that they feel that through eating. And at the same time, it also gives them something new.
This was the bigger picture that fascinated all the journalists in the very beginning. It was not about the food itself, it was about the project, the vision, the idea. And of course I had to come here to actually get a sense of it, what it was all about, because it was so intimately linked to the landscapes, in the sense that this was all about food made out of our produce.
Probably the first time a restaurant really changed my life, the way I live, the way I think, the way I communicate with other people, the way I read now, the way I listen to music now. I mean, literally changing the way you have been constructing your life till the moment you push your door open. Certainly, Noma is one of that important and precious moments.
Then as soon as it was stamped as being, you know, this is the new shit, you know, so everyone started accepting it. So and everybody said, oh, and they were all the journalists were scrambling over each other to say that they were the first ones to discover it, you know. So and it's that boring old fucking cliche that none of them. You know, as soon as somebody starts doing something different, they all write about that. You know, they're all writing about the same stuff. So.
Ça n'a pas été un succès au départ. En fait, il a fallu une première étoile et puis bien sûr une deuxième étoile. Et là, ils ont été vraiment obligés d'accepter René, de voir en lui un grand chef. Et bien sûr, la consécration comme meilleur restaurant du monde, ça a été le bouquet final, quoi.
And we went from zeros to heroes overnight. We weren't full. You know, we had lunches where there was 15 guests. We didn't have a reservation list. It was, you know, when people called to book a table, they called the restaurant, and the waiter that was serving on table 4, he would just quickly answer the phone and say, cool, yeah, how many? Okay, let me write it down. And then just like that, overnight, our website crashed. We became number 1. And so I just got very confused during that year. No, is that it? Is the creation done? You're 32 and you have now reached the mountaintop, the biggest mountaintop. Where are you gonna go from here? Are you gonna go to the moon?
Success is a marvelous thing, don't get me wrong, but it can be dangerous and limiting. The truth is, I'd started feeling scared of losing this worldwide precious attention that we'd stumbled into. We'd suddenly become a fancy restaurant. I became a miserable fuck. Shouting all the time, pushing people around, the smallest things became disasters. We started listening to other people's questions like, you should have real silverware now. Are you sure you have enough luxury ingredients on the menu because all the various guides and institutions dictates it? Langoustines, lobsters, or caviar? Or should the waiters now wear suits? Like the food would then improve with a fucking bow tie. Fuck the real silver cutlery. In Macedonia, I ate the chicken of my life with my bare hands. Are you telling me silver cutlery would have made it better? No. The quality, what made it special, was having a connection to what we put in our mouths. That it was a very rare treat, a moment of celebration. We were receiving guests, and we wanted to give them the best we could afford to offer. We wanted to make them happy. From then on, I decided we would spend all we could afford on ourselves. Fuck the bow ties. Thank you.
To have the best restaurant in the world in Denmark, in little old Copenhagen, and not in London, New York, Paris, it changed everything. It just changed it. I mean, the tourism, all of a sudden, Copenhagen become a place where, you know, food is, for the want of a better term, started flying in from all over the world. I mean, it's never happened before that people flew to Scandinavia to eat.
If you've read the articles, seen the representation of Noma through the international press, it's always been presented as a place that is cooking the food of Denmark, it's cooking the ingredients of Scandinavia. It was very clear that the idea of using the olive oil from Italy just wasn't the kind of thing that Noma wanted to do. It's been well ingrained into the ethos of Noma, into the sort of the lore of Noma. And there was a lore sort of surrounding it, this idea that, you know, a restaurant was able to produce food of this staggering quality using a relatively limited palette.
Food is everything. It's a metaphor for how we interact with the world, on sad moments and on happy moments. It's a vector for conversation. It's a transformation of our environment. With food, we literally consume light and weather. We're putting the world into our bodies. Food becomes who you are.
They get a good lunchbox.
Yeah,
they get a very good lunchbox.
He grew up with his father's mother and his brother on a very tiny space, and they all, I think, slept in the same room and had one other room to live in. And he felt that was happy. He felt that was a great way to live. And he wants to do that also with his own family. Not that they all sleep together, but he really wants to create a tight unity. And that's, I think that's very much René today. He mentioned that he felt, you can say, racism in his life, of his background. There was a lot of people who were looking bad towards him and his family because he was from Macedonia.
Kuptojuna tas hegapengaun vakupas galin fmeve misian tro sian baben kant hoide dis anatop preken kur fulling kids schon. Jan prekur fulling kids.
You know, I was written up for apartments. I didn't understand why some of my friends, they were getting them before me. People just kept saying, oh, you know, something went wrong or something. And then at one point, I remember the management of one of the places flips. And I go to see where my application is. And they say, oh, you're not registered at all in our system. And then at that time, I figured that can only be because, you know, because my father is a Muslim immigrant to Denmark, you know.
I don't know, I come from a very different background. Racism is not a common thing, so for me it's not an issue in my life. I never thought of it. But it has definitely been an issue in his life.
Of course I've experienced racism in Denmark. Are you kidding me? Yeah, sure. Every year. Many times a year. Fuck home to Balkan. Balkan dog. I mean, yeah, all these things. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't. It makes me much more angry when there's somebody that doesn't like the starter on the menu than when some jerk, some loser, you know, says, you Balkan dog, go home to Skopje or wherever. I don't give a shit.
Many people are skeptical about the immigrants and the Muslims and all this. He is a person from this background. And many people are skeptical that they don't want to contribute to the Danish culture, they don't want to contribute to the Danish society. And he is obviously a guy who has contributed enormously to the Danish society and the Danish culture. But he is more Danish than the Danes in a sense.
Say onion diesel. White onion.
Yeah, there's an irony that you know, René's not, you know, 100% Scandinavian, but obviously, I mean, he's you know, the guy is, he's like Danish through and through. Danish through and through. You know, I'm not. I mean, I've lived half of my life in Denmark, and that's not enough to run a 100% Scandinavian concept.
Mozart, I think, is the word that comes to my mind. Mozart, of course, was a fantastic composer, a fantastic genius in many ways. He was a child playing around with music, creating fantastic and beautiful and wonderful music. And I think in some ways there's this element of Mozart about René, that he has this automatic access to genius, to a source of creativity that is surprising, I think, also to him.
So where does it come from, this creativity? Is it intuition? Or is it just good luck? It's as if there's a second brain somewhere hidden in your gut. A hard drive talking to your subconsciousness, feeding it when the moment is just right, seeing the symbiosis between something in the past and something in the now. Imagine if we could cook up this moment and drink it.
Let's go, guys.
Like a magic potion.
It's very cold. Maybe we should wait a bit, huh? Yeah. Saturday Night Projects is an experiment. It's a place for us to just learn and have a free forum to do whatever you want and essentially fail as much as you want as long as you do it 100%.
So pear and celery dessert.
Pear, celery, and beer.
And beer, yeah.
Well, the pears are cooked buttermilk whey and woodruff, fennel tops, and angelica.
Wow. And then from there on we learn. Then the discussion starts about food, quality, ideas, innovation, creativity, memories, upbringing, flavors, ingredients, seasonality, all of this mixed in together into a wonderful session each week.
Sanchez, you go first.
Well, I think it really worked well. The first flavor I got was the celeriac. And then before it got too savory, I think you got the beer and the pear. And then you're ending with something like quite sweet.
Yeah.
Which I think the flavor combination worked really well.
Yeah. I think so too.
You know, it's like in a strange way, like they all came in the order they should. So that it ended sweet, right?
The eating experience of it is a bit strange. Like it doesn't like, you don't just do like this and eat it, you know, you almost need cutlery for it, which is a difficult thing. That can be worked much more on, so it's more pleasant to eat. No, really good. I think as a, you know, version 1 here, definitely want to try that again. All right? Cool. All right, let's hear it.
So this is an umami bomb. So what we have here is some egg yolk that's been cooked, mixed with a bit of pickled kelp, piso, and lactose up. Then fried tapioca that has this sole powder on it. Some pickled kelp on top of that. And then an umami disc sitting on top of that. And there's a cured scallop in there. It's been cured overnight with kelp and green strawberry juice. And the broth is a broth of tomato water and hondashi. So the scallops are cold, they're going for a little...
What was the crunchy part?
Tapioca, fried tapioca seasoning is sold.
Only oil?
Yeah.
Only oil.
And scallop?
70 degrees, 7 minutes. Then, you cool down.
Yeah.
That's right.
Strong, huh? Okay, how many enjoyed this dish? How many fucking love this dish? All right, nothing more to say. Now fuck off. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I remember that feeling of being an apprentice and then thinking that you're just a nobody, and then you get respect and you get an accolade of sorts. It's just, you know, the most fueling thing ever. At least it was for me.
I just used
things that will all be waste items in the kitchen. So the fish heads that we throw out, the roe that we don't use for the emulsion, and then parsley stems chopped up on top just for a bit of freshness and crunch, and also a bit of sorrel stems as well. And I particularly like the eyeball. Nice.
The eyeball is delicious. Who loves this? Hands up.
Oh, it's great.
Who thinks this is world class? Hands up. We all think we're eating something that is totally delicious, world class, fantastic, and you're basically sucking the head of a fish, right?
Yeah.
Chef, bravo, man. A masterpiece.
Tusind tak.
I'm actually in a very happy spot right now, which worries me a bit, because I'm a bit like Woody Allen when he won the Oscar, and each time the phone rang, he would think, oh no, it's the Academy calling to say they want the Oscar back. Table 6 got cleared? She didn't eat it. You should tell her to eat it.
She didn't want to eat it.
She didn't want to eat it?
No, it's perfectly fine. I told her to chew it. So, no, it's fine. Didn't want to say no.
Who explained it?
Yeah.
She didn't eat the...
I told her to eat it while she was drinking. I was very clear with that.
Yeah, but she didn't eat the
one that's cooked. She had a chew.
No, I said the whole thing is edible.
Okay, let's get ready for a flatbread, please. Single flatbread. Ready.
Can I see it? Yeah, good.
At least 5 flatbread next, please.
Guys, this is not like this. You're supposed to put these small flowers on first because it's just gonna fall down. Redo it.
Yep.
Thomas, where's Thomas Freeville? Thomas, I told you to stay there because I could see it's not working and it's not going well. All right, it's just been thrown on there. What can we do instead of one flatbread?
Coming online.
What about these mosses here, chef?
Still waiting. I'll table down, chef. Eating very slowly on 11.
Scandale au Danemark, 63 personnes tombent malades au
Der er
restaurant.
fundet udbrud af norovirus på restaurant Noma, verdens bedste restaurant i København. 63 mennesker er ramt.
Unconfirmed reports from restaurant Noma this morning. Health authorities claiming a norovirus caused by a sick employee. Unhygienic sink and wash areas.
Peter? Behind situation, der er helt vildt, chef. Yeah. Can you turn down the music? Can you turn off the music? Turn off the music and the blender! Peter, stop. The health department is leaving in a few hours. Basically, we have been a filthy group of Slavs that have vomited on each other and not washed our hands because we only have cold water everywhere.
That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah. The norovirus happens and everybody's in shock. Everybody. Like desperate. What the fuck is going on? And people are emailing you, the most nasty fucking assholes are emailing you. Oh, I was sick in 2010. We were 6 people. One of us became sick afterwards. Give me my money back or I'll call the papers. You know? Like real, genuine assholes. All these emails are flooding in and you're like desperate. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna react to this? And at the same time, you've made people sick when the only thing you want to do is make people happy.
So, the story is now that we basically poison people because we are not clean.
You know, we sat in this meeting and the first thing that I suggest, or not even suggest, you know, who am I to suggest anything? I'm just a chef and this is the health authority. I said, is there anything on our menu that you would suspect being the cause of this? And of course, then I give this information about the mussels and I said, you know, it is a bivalve, you know, oysters, clams, mussels, they filter water. They've been ones notorious for causing norovirus outbreaks. And I was told immediately, without hesitation, there's no way it was the mussels. Who the fuck wants to eat at a place where that's happening? I think he got scared. Of course he would get scared of losing his restaurant. Are they gonna take your restaurant away from you? We sent the mussels to get tested. Those mussels came back with norovirus in them. Then all of a sudden there was some doubt in the health authority's mind that in fact maybe it was actually the mussels. I was told by the same person who told me before that the 100% no chance that it was the mussels, that, you know what, we need to look into this more. What happened from there? Absolutely nothing.
We just need to figure it out soon because this is miles away from being ready. Okay, like miles away. We've gone, with this serving today, we've gone the opposite way. Okay, we haven't moved forward, we've gone backwards. What we're tasting now doesn't have that at all elegance or lightness, refreshingness that we thought. I mean, they look much more beautiful than the ones earlier, but they don't taste half as good. You know? Like, I don't understand how this can happen. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand, as a cook, it goes against my, what I believe in. To just be working on something, and you taste it and it's like, oh, it doesn't taste good, but I'm still keep working on it. You know what I mean? So that's a hiccup here. Okay? So, tomorrow, we're gonna give it another go tomorrow. Okay?
The idea was to go out and do sea urchins and become a millionaire. I'd been supplying a lot of the 3-star Michelin restaurants in France, yeah. But it just hadn't worked out, you know. We're at the point where it's like, nah, this is not going to happen anymore. This is just not worth it now. Like, this is not how it should be, you know. And you stopped. This guy just phones up out of the blue and asks for sea urchins. He says it's a 2-star Michelin restaurant. This means nothing to me. Like, nothing at all. It's the least important thing in the world. My wife turned around to me and she said, "Who was that?" And I said, "That's some 2 Michelin star chef from some restaurant in Denmark." And she said, "Can you remember the name of the restaurant?" And I was like, "No." And she said, "Was it Rennie Redzepi?" And I was like, "Probably. Can't remember the guy's name." "Okay, if he wants sea urchins, you have to do this restaurant." That's the first time in my life my wife's ever told me to do anything with sea urchins. Ever. I go out and I pick some of the fairly below average sea urchins. It's not the best shit I know of. Because I don't want this guy. And I'm really expecting this guy to say all that shit. I'm really praying for this guy to say all that shit. But instead, this guy phones me back up and says they're fucking amazing. And I'm like, okay, shit.
I had a mission, I needed urchin. And so I just kept working on him.
He pushes me. And it's like, people don't push me, man. I'm a roughy, tough Scotsman. I have my dreams, I have my goals. Nobody fucking pushes me. He's more than just a chef to me. Even if Rennie stopped buying the sea urchins, using me as a supplier, it wouldn't matter. This is a guy who changed my life. The guy who put the wind back in my sails.
Okay, ready?
He changed my direction, and it's like all of a sudden you have faith in what you've done.
So the Michelin Guide is out tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay? Just so you know. I'm 100% positive nothing is happening, unfortunately. I could feel there was a little bit of positive vibe about it, but no. Are we happy in our work?
Yes.
Are we full all the time?
Yes.
Okay. So it's sort of a vanity question, I think, for all of us. More than, do we need it in our lives? Probably not, you know, but it would be nice to have. All right, let's have a good dinner.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it again and again because everybody asks me this. All journalists, all my friends, people that eat there, oh, you should have 3 stars and all these things. But we don't. So what? So fucking what? I'm gonna have 3 kids. That's my 3 stars.
Will he ever get it? I think so. I think so. I bet my balls that he will end up his life with 3 Michelin stars. So, and even then, and then he will be happy. Everybody will be happy. I don't know one single chef who somewhere in a little part, in a little dark side of his brain doesn't secretly dream of having 3 Michelin stars.
Vil du komme smadret på? Så ramte det lige der. Godt, skatter.
I remember one other time when I called up my father and we just gotten the 2nd Michelin star and I'm like, Father, we got 2 Michelin stars. And my father, there's this silence in the back and he says, that's good, son. Now you can support your family.
Den her, der gik blommen i stykker, ikke også? Den kan far spise.
And that was one of these moments where you're like, oh yeah, you put it into perspective a little bit. So I guess these things, they just stick with you, you know? The accolades is not the fucking crowning moment. You cannot allow it to be that. You're gonna burn yourself out. I love you too, baby. I love you. I thought it would be more difficult to convince my wife to have a 3rd child. Turns out Michelin stars are more difficult than babies. We're not following a recipe, we're doing a recipe. We're sort of creating a recipe. And I think until that's finished, I don't think we'll get 3 stars. Do you understand what I mean?
No, okay, just give it to me. Are you sure this is the same as the other day?
Yeah.
Really? This is not the same as the other day?
This is actually the same as the other day.
This is not the same as the other day. This is thyme. The other one was lemon thyme. I'm 100% sure. This is normal time. Right? Hello?
Yes.
Okay? Don't start this bullshit. If you can't answer, don't start it. I'm not in the mood for it. Do you get me?
Yes.
Thank you. All right? Is it time or not?
Yes.
It's normal time. What was it we used or we agreed on? What was it we used and agreed on? What was it we used and agreed on?
I'm pretty sure we agreed
No.
on flowers.
Yeah, lemon thyme. It was lemon thyme. It was lemon thyme, right? This is not what you have? Come on, man. Jeez, don't do this, okay? There's 3 guys here and like, Lars, why are you looking like a deer in headlights, man? Come on. We tasted it the other day. We start again.
Yeah. It's my fault.
Yeah, but I mean, we should all know this, right?
Yes.
It's too late. I know. The herbs made it soft again. But now the flowers, of course, are not going to be the same. No, it's not working. It's not working. Do it again. When you're ready,
You call me, okay?
Yes, yeah.
And is there any other things that like this needs to be fucked up now?
No.
I don't like to do it. Nobody likes to do it, but it's a part of it. People want some sort of a success. They just don't want to see what makes the success. And in our case, it's extraordinary amounts of hard work in any restaurant. There's no way around it.
En stor del af Renés succes kommer fra, at han bliver ved med at bevare barnet i sig selv. Så han er åben over for alle ting, han møder. Med den der gode, solide naivitet, som gør, at man har alle døre stående åbne for sig. Jeg kan huske første gang, jeg mødte René, der irriterede han mig lidt. Vi var ude i en porremark, og det han sådan blev mest begejstret over, det var nogle små agerstemorblomster. Og det provokerede mig lidt, den begejstring, han havde. Indtil jeg kom til at tænke over nogle ting, at det var faktisk sådan, jeg selv var. Så sagde jeg til René en dag, hvornår skal I i gang med at bruge noget nordisk koriander? Og jeg sagde, koriander, det er godt nok uden for det nordiske område. Det har ikke noget med nordisk mad at gøre. For det første har det en evne til at overleve her. Det kan reproducere sig. Hvorfor er det ikke lige så godt som alt mulige andre planter? Kartoflen har jo heller ikke været her hele tiden, ikke? Men er jo i hvert fald i hele Skandinavien en meget brugbar som spiseingrediens. Ligesom min koriander jeg har haft lidt modvilje mod at blive introduceret og brugt i det nordiske køkken. Så har jeg også følt, at René har fået nogen på næsen. Måske fordi nogen mente, at han som halvt makedoner måske ikke var den rigtige til at lave historiefortællingen omkring det nordiske køkken.
Real seasonality, like what's there, what does the wilderness offer, what do the best of farms have to offer, when are things at their peak. You know, there's micro seasons within the seasons. You can just keep taking it a step further and a step further and a step further. The weather, what, when, how does it taste in that season? You know, every year is different, every month is different, every week is different. Sometimes day by day things change dramatically. Winter is not just something, it's like the whole of Scandinavia can be one big ice block. And if you're not prepared for it, you're gonna have a lot of trouble cooking and finding enough foodstuff.
5 months of the year, they're covered in snow. We don't even have our own farm. We're dependent on other farmers.
You know, the fact of the matter is to have a restaurant that is doing 45 covers a day for lunch, 45 covers a day for dinner. It's very difficult to, well, it's not, it's maybe what I should say is that sometimes the purveyors that we have they're not pushing as hard as we are. You know, they're not trying as hard as we are to get the ingredients that we want. So, you know, you occasionally have had these like supplemental deliveries come in. Technically is a product that is available to us here now. Why can't we get it? Great question. Because fucking guy doesn't want to work on a Saturday. Or the guy doesn't want to work more than 6 hours a day. That's why we don't fucking have it. And then all of a sudden, what do you have to do? Then you order hazelnuts. You order fresh hazelnuts, and they should be coming from here because I know they're there. They're on the trees now here, but then they come from Spain. Why?
These things happen all the time where you order in something and something else comes up. And you just think to yourself, you know what, there's too much bullshit today. Fuck it.
And that's where the compromises come in. And in a sense, I don't really feel it compromises the idea of the locally based kitchen, because that's another discipline. That's another competition you enter when you want to be the very best restaurant in the world and live up to that. It's not the question of can you serve something fantastic from the Nordic countries. It's of can you sort of keep winning Tour de France every year, and that's another question.
You know, we're not putting blueberries on the menu in the middle of winter because they're not available. But if we order blueberries in the middle of blueberry season and they get delivered from Italy, why the fuck is that happening? And I know why it happens, because we use a lot of these products and we're extremely demanding and we want everything now because that's how we work. We want everything. We want to do it now. And then some people just don't have that same mentality.
If a restaurant was to use, was to be fully local, regional, Scandinavian, most likely would not survive because the cost would be immense. And also, there's so many things that are just, impossible to get in the quantities. Your menu would have to be so different. You'd have to change the menu constantly.
I never said anywhere that we're using only Nordic ingredients. I don't even believe in it, in the sense that that's the right way to go as a strict policy. I believe that you should go deep into ingredients. So I believe that the biggest challenge we put ourselves, why we said let's try to use as much as we can just from here, was simply to allow for the innovation of it.
Fuck, isn't it sick? It's almost 100 meters long. Now imagine if we go from here, chef. What is it, like 7 meters wide? Yeah. Imagine we go from here all the way down and build a fucking greenhouse, chef. Like, we can walk in, we can grow things all the way down, also on the other one. Yeah. So when you are here, we can have all these sort of, sheets coming out to block the sun here. People can be sitting. On top here, we have like gardeners working on the greenhouse. You can almost see like there's 3 pathways through the bush. 1, 2, 3, and maybe a 4th one. Now imagine 4 small bridges, okay? 2 meters long, and then you go into the lake. And on the lake, half this lake, the size of 3-4 football fields, is a big, huge, gigantic motherfucking raft, right? And on that we have raised beds. Can you see it, chef? This is the next level, man. This is the next level. This is the next level for Noma.
So we are now getting to the sharp end. Many of you may be aware of which pair of leading restaurants are still unaccounted for. So this obviously is a tense moment.
What's going on? Why are you so weird, motherfuckers? Why are you standing there?
At number 2 in the world's 50 best list.
Because it's on the very, 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 very edge. It has been all year, and you guys are not helping it. You are not helping it.
After 3 years at the top, we have the pride of Denmark, Noma.
Don't you understand how weird it becomes that suddenly all of us stand there and look, and suddenly this little issue is like a big thing?
No, world's best restaurant, 2013.
There's something that's not going right, and I think it's you.
Is El Cellar de Can Roca.
Something needs to change here. Okay? Because it cannot be that we can't just fool around with a bit of pee without making it so awkward, strange, silent, weird. It just becomes so weird, man. I don't know what I'm doing here, man. It's a complete waste of time.
After a day like today, I think most of our staff ask themselves, why? Why the hell are we here? Why on earth have we chosen to cook for a living when it has to be like this? On days like this, I have to believe that there's greater meaning to all this craziness than just providing 40 people with a bit of sustenance. Why is it that some musicians mesh and play together as one? Or some athletes can pass the ball to each other without looking? It's so beautiful when that type of symbiosis happens here in the kitchen. When we're finishing each other's thoughts, instantly aware of what the other is looking for. So when a man is down, suddenly it's so much more difficult.
It was probably the worst progression of events that could happen for me. I came in January. February, we got 63 people sick. March 18th, we didn't get 3 stars. And then we lost the #1 position at the end of April in the world's 50 best. So needless to say, not only myself, but the team who had started here, who came on to this ship, if you will, after it had already been #1, after it was the best restaurant in the world, we all felt like, man, did we fuck up? Did we just lose everything?
On the positive note, not being #1, on the very positive, you will inevitably have a lot of people that only goes there because it's #1. They don't give a shit, actually. They're just there because it's #1. They're gone. Thank God for that. Because most of these people are assholes. And then all these moments started, like the new kitchen. Rest in peace. It was supposed to be a small, quick renovation. No. From that moment on, it got planned that it was going to be a huge, completely changed renovation. So that the team could sort of revive a bit, have a new workspace. We definitely shifted gears, not because of some fucking stupid world's 50 best accolade. The norovirus did that. And it's still there. To push ourselves and show something new. So that menu is like the menu, you know. It's the menu where we're coming out of norovirus. You know, it's the menu where we're coming out of being a despicable loser. It's the menu where we're gonna have to prove to everybody that we're still here and better than ever. Oh my God, it's a cabbage. It's a vegetable. No, it's a drink. Scandinavian margarita.
I think the only thing that you're lacking is like Spanish herbal.
Yeah. It's a little too much like saftevand. You know, tastes like when you're a kid, what you mix with water doesn't have that. It's not. Can you taste it? It's refreshing, but there's no textural delight. There's no real clear flavor. Taste your mouth now. Is it like you drank lemonade? Feel it on your lips.
Yeah.
Is it like you drank lemonade?
Yeah.
Is that what we want with the first serving? Sugar? Like that? Thomas?
No, of course not.
So, but now that we're here, it's like
I mean, of course, but we also worked in that sense. Okay, we want to serve a pollen roll, right? Of course, quite simple in flavor, but also how to bring up the pollen flavor. And
but it needs to be much more than. I mean, if you take about a handful of pollen in your mouth, does it taste of more of this?
Probably, it would, yeah.
Of course. So why would you settle for less? It's the pollen flavor, like explosive flavor. Not just water with sugar. Jesus, the noise is crazy. Do you feel that too? Like you're drinking lemonade? It's just a lemonade, man. It's beautiful, it's pretty, but it's hopeless. Okay?
Yes.
But I would like a glass more of it. We went through these past 6 months with the fucking norovirus, and we're over it. It's over. But we had some scars, okay? And only now I'm starting myself to lose it. This sort of, I don't feel wounded anymore like I did. Let's just attack these next 3-4 weeks with the most of energy we have and try to have fun with it. Don't go out to the crazy area of your brain where you start doing stupid shit, like shouting or alienating certain people.
because for some reason or another they don't fit in with your current mood of the day. All right? Can we do that? Yeah. Cool, man.
Coming in? Yes, chef. Yeah. Joe, you ready? Yes, chef. Yes. Yeah. I need one more urgent plate up here, please. I have one bigger plate, please. Keep up to two, please. Yeah. Pick up something? No, don't worry about it.
Coming now, one berry, one flatbread, go.
Can I have one bigger plate, please? Don't worry about it. Yes, sir. Yes, yeah. You got one of those plates? Let's get something for the channel, please. Yeah.
Very flavorsome.
We're like a high-speed train with no stops. And everybody who wants to jump on and be a part of this high-speed train just have to stand there at each station and run and then jump.
Guys, can we just promise each other that we go and have fun?
Yes.
That's what this is about. Guys, let's fucking go and have some fun.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
We go to the 50 best again, and I think all of us really prepared ourselves not to get it. I know I did, and I know Renee was trying to prepare us all to just go there, be good sports. Whoever wins, be happy for them.
Do I believe that there is a best restaurant in the world? Of course not. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a joke. It's like saying, what's the best color of the world? Let's find 800 people together each year and we'll vote, and then for the next 12 months, yellow. But it changed our restaurant forever.
I wasn't even in the fucking room. You know, myself, Lau, and Peter Kreiner, we were in like this viewing room with a TV. And that viewing room with the TV happened to have a bar there as well. So I mean, I'm like going for it. Now, I'm not saying I'm drunk, but like, I'm not expecting anything to happen.
We're now into the top 5. At 5, we're back on home turf. It's dinner by Heston Blumenthal.
We are top 4. We are top 4. We might be number 4.
Number 4, this year's best restaurant in North America is 11 Madison. Retaining its position and making the list for the 6th time. It's Osteria Francescana.
And then you start to, you know what? Then at that point, we just get to that point, I'm like, fuck it, man. Here we go. Maybe we got it.
This is a high drama moment at number 2. I know none of you know who is the world's best restaurant, but at number 2 in the world, 50 best restaurants list, we have El Sala de Can.
No, what the? No! No, I didn't know, I swear. I swear I didn't know. No, I swear I didn't know. I swear I didn't know, man. I fucking swear. Jeg har ikke vendt en skid. Jeg har ikke vendt en skid.
No. It can't be. It can't be true.
Hey guys, come over here. Come over here. Blow up. Come on, you motherfuckers. You're gonna fucking blow the guys. No, I can't believe it.
Noma!
Guys, we did it. And I can't tell you how happy I am that all of us are here sharing this moment of celebration. Do you remember the opening years of Noma? How few people believed in us? We were the geeks in a class of fine linens and expensive wines. They gave us funny names. We all remember the seal fucker. But that didn't bother us. It fucking fueled us. And look where we are now, several years later, celebrated for all the experiments. Wood sorrel conquered caviar, the seal fucker is on top. We have to remember that everything that we've achieved so far, we've done by failing or handling the failures we stumble over daily. We have to stay there, on the edge, right there, looking for a next move, playing like we have nothing and nothing to lose. The road is not paved in front of us, a choice we make, for we want to be the ones laying the bricks. My dear seal fuckers, thank you again. Let's keep failing together. Thank you. This is too crazy. Like, this is too crazy.
Definitely Noma's a family. There's no question that this is a family. What he would be? I think he's the father, you know. I think he's the father that knows what needs to happen. He's the father with the plan. He's the father that you know things are okay when he's okay. And then on the contrary, he's the father that if he's upset, he's angry. I think many people in this restaurant feel as though we've done something wrong. And sometimes that can have different effects. But he is the beat, the pulse of this restaurant. There's no way around it.
One day, a Norwegian fisherman, he told me about the perfect storm. A perfect storm is a storm in which the sky and the sea seems to flow together. And Ragnarok, or the end of the world, is around the corner. Everything goes wrong, you're about to give up. But you still continue, even though that your strength is almost exhausted. The one thing that keeps you going is the feeling that everything will calm down at one point. All your instincts telling you,
calm down, everything will be okay. That there is control in spite of everything. The perfect storm is the perfect analogy of my life at Noma.
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel alone. This is a place where I feel at home. By the cracks of his skin I climb.